Game on, everybody, and welcome to another video. In this video, we'll be showcasing my blue-green Tallgeese deck profile. You guys reached the like goal, so as promised, I wanted to go ahead and showcase to you guys, and thank you again. But first and foremost, let's talk about the core strategy of the deck. So of course, we have Tallgeese and Zex Marquise. So Tallgeese has an activate main once per turn, pay 4 resources, set this unit as active. It's a 4/4 Oz, and it links with Zex Marquise. And with Zex Marquise, we have the burst mechanic, of course. It gives 2/1, and during your turn, while this unit destroys an enemy unit with battle damage, draw 1 card. So that's really kind of what we're building upon. So keep this in mind and stay with me while we kind of show you the ins and outs of this deck. And I promise there's a reason to it. Trust the process, trust the build. So here we go. We're gonna go ahead and showcase what we have for early game. For the early game, we do have just this Ares blocker. It's a 2/1, not really good, just because it has that 1 HP stat line, but it's really just there just kind of like as that fodder. Terrible matchup, of course, against the blue, red, pink deck, but just here as that blocker to prevent that extra, like your whole goal is to go tall, and that's why I really stressed out the tall in Tallgeese. So this is a very go tall strategy, and if you guys don't know what that means, it's basically you're putting all your eggs into one basket, one combo piece, and that's the main core build around. So we have Ares as the blocker, as basically that low cost chump blocker, and it has that ability to like basically swing. If you also even pair it with another pilot, it can really take out those EX bases. Not really advised, I'm just kind of giving you guys some reason as to why. Of course, the best blockers are in blue, and there's a weaker blocker that I've thought about putting into this deck, but for this moment, this is what I've kind of put here. Moving on, though, to Zex Leo. So it has the ability of when paired, choose one enemy unit with 3 HP or less, rest it, and it can link with an Oz trait. So it does have the ability to get that link with Zex Marquise, because, well, duh, it is his. But it's basically an Amuro for this color, even though I'm not playing Amuro in this deck, just to kind of put that out there. But it's got that ability to rest something, and that's really thematic with this deck, and it'll make more sense. The reason why it just has a really good like stat line for what it is, and especially that you're able to link it with Zex to get that extra ability. So this is just kind of the early game, not really kind of what we're going for, because what we're actually focused on. So let's talk about the synergy support. We are, of course, going to play the Hero UE package, where we're ramping up, and we're really just trying to get as many resources, because when it comes to the point where we want to pay the 4 resources and restand to either protect it or swing twice to draw 2 cards, that's kind of what the core strategy is. We're kind of going all in on Tallgeese, but our supporter pilot and our backup units is basically the Wing Gundam package overall. So we have, of course, the 4 of the Wing Gundam bird mode that has the deployability of placing 1 EX resource, and when it comes to time for us to like spend our EX resources, we're having that additional resources to basically make our Tallgeese swing multiple times per turn. And then we have the first contact. I never really ever explained why I like my 4:3 ratio, but if you guys are really interested in like the math behind the reason why I do this, you're welcome to bump it down to however ratios you want, but this is what I personally like to do for this build. So also, just to be clear, I'm playing 4 heroes. He's just the cover, so I kind of put it here. And then so we have that as our ramp package, so we have additional resources to build up so we can more effectively use Tallgeese's ability effect. And then we have Wing Gundam that gives us the Breach 5 as a supporting unit to kind of, this deck is going to be very much focused on attacking the board more so than attacking the shield area. And I like to also play the 1 tech of the Wing Gundam 0, just because if you're playing green, you kind of should just play this card, honestly, even as a 1-of tech choice, because once it comes out, like, your opponent always has to fear for that this card is going to come out. They might have it. So I like to play the 1. If you want to change the ratios around to maybe include more copies, that's up to you. But this is what I have for my green supporting package. And then for our bases, I am very big about, we have a very go tall strategy, all of our eggs in one basket. But what happens when we don't really reach that? Like, what if we go against an aggro strategy and we can't really defend ourselves? So this is where I like to maximize in this particular deck. I like to have 6 bases. I put 4 of the underground desert base as the deploy, add 1 shield to your hand, but it's a 6 health. That's what the most important thing is, to help you kind of counter against those aggro strategies. And then we have 2 copies of Corsica base. You're welcome to increase this more if you want, or switch around these ratios just maybe do 3-3. But Corsica base, truthfully, when it comes out, especially in this strategy, it's basically just a vanilla. So I feel like maximizing the vanilla that draws you a card but has 6 HP versus the 5 is better. But Corsica base is only really good to deploy on your turn, because if you hit it in burst, that's why I have the 2 copies. But for burst, deploy this card, deploy, add 1 shield, so it's a draw 1, right? Then if it's your turn, deploy 1 Tallgeese Oz 4/2 unit token. And if it's your turn and there's already a Corsica base in your trash, you get to deploy 2 Leo Oz 1/1 units instead. So that's where I've landed with these specific cards. And we're going to go ahead and talk about the next part, the commands. So like I said, you guys have to trust me on this, trust the process. There's a theory to all this madness, and it's really, again, a go tall strategy. It's not really kind of like effectively using a bunch of different units to build up into this. We're all in on Tallgeese, and that's what the core strategy is. So we have 4 of the siege ploys, which has the burst effect to activate the main, and it's a main action card that says choose 1 enemy unit with 5 or less HP, rest it. And that really helps you set up with Tallgeese to be able to attack into units to then draw you that 1 card every time you destroy a unit in battle. And that's why also when we talked about the Zex Leo and you pair it, it's basically more copies of that, but it's just like a really weak body. You rather just kind of establish the body to put the pressure on there after when we're trying to go for game. But 4 siege ploys is pretty vital for this particular deck. And then, of course, we have the 2 Show of Resolves. Because the deck, I mean, we do have the ability to ramp, and we'll maybe have some extra resources to play with, but we want to really use our turn to use the ability on the Tallgeese itself. And going on level 4, paying 3 energy, rather than using the 4 energy to use the Tallgeese ability, or even playing Tallgeese, you're like not doing anything. And that's why but it's really nice to see this card when you are low on resources. So I think you still need to play some kind of amount of copies of a Show of Resolve. And then let's talk about some of the other tech cards. So I have Simultaneous Fire. It has the main, choose 1 of your units. It gains Breach 3 during this turn. So again, you can use this command pilot card also with the other one too. You can pair it with the other Leos, Zex Leos, so then that way you can get that Amaru like effect. The reason why, again, now I'm gonna reveal that we're not playing Amaru because it's now we're not able to really get that pair effect, because we rather be pairing our pilots with like Tallgeese will be effective with Zex, and that's where we're trying to get that link effect, right? So it is more of a clunky build around, but it is that go tall strategy all in on that, right? So we'll be like more than often actually using these command style cards to give Tallgeese Breach. So then that way when we're killing something on the board or destroying something on the board, we're also going to do the breach damage into the life area. So then that way we can get some interesting value off of those attacks. And then we also have Peaceful Timbre action. During this battle, your shield area can't receive damage from units that are level 4 or lower. So again, it's really just that surprise action, kind of defend your shield area to really get that value off of it. And the last card I wanted to showcase for this deck is Kai's Resolve. So I typically do not think these recover cards are actually good, but in a strategy where we want to make sure we are getting as much value off of Tallgeese, healing it back up to a more healthier stat line is actually ideal. And it's just like a 2 of tech card that can really help with the with keeping it healthy, so that way we can really on our turn swing into our opponent's board and get, you know, additional card draw and value off of it. So that's why this card is here. Maybe there is going to be a good healing strategy that comes out one day, but I'm just trying to think outside the box and give you guys a frame of reference as to why I'm using these commands in particular. So these are the decks. This is in one whole view. On the left hand side is the lowest rarity version, and on the right hand side is the max rarity version. This was built on my website at magicalmeta.inc/Gundam/deck builder, and it kind of gives you a breakdown. So if you guys are interested in checking out my other decks, please consider looking at my channel to see all my other deck profiles. Or if you guys want to build deck profiles yourself in this kind of format or in this final screenshot version, feel free to do so, and let me know what you guys also think. Real quick though, I want to showcase to you guys how to basically build a deck. So we do have the deck builder here, and it's super easy to import decks here. You can go ahead and copy and paste from any other deck builder import them into here, and it's just right here. One of the best things though is that you're able to upgrade all, change it to max rarity, or if you're looking for a budget build, you can go ahead and click downgrade all to find that rarity, and then click on this button here to check out the list. It'll say, give you some information saying that I copied the list to your clipboard. It'll redirect you to TCG Player. Make sure it's set to the Gundam card game. You'll go ahead and click paste and add to cart, and then let it load, and then suddenly, look at that, you have your whole list. So right now it's looking like it's going to be about $63 in card plus $37 in estimated shipping. Here's the subtotal, shows you that all 50 cards are here, 20 packages. You can go ahead and further optimize it as well and maybe give you a different price, but it makes it super easy for you guys to go ahead and build a deck right from the get-go. So my list will be available on Discord, so please join there. My list is also available in the link description box below. And if you guys have any questions, just let me know. And thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. I'm out of here.